Shalom, shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash, the Divine Apostle Elders, a great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to you sincere brothers out there pushing the truth. I just want to jump right in because, one thing I was meditating upon today, you have a lot of Israelites, you have a lot of Israelite groups, people who accept that they're Israel. But even though they know that, they still don't want to accept the different laws, statutes, and commandments. They want to play games with the scriptures. They don't want to fall under order. They don't want to admit, who it was who was given certain prophecies and certain information, and they want to play games. And they want to make the truth into like a TV show or perverted or whatever it may be. So even though you have people waking up to the fact that they're Israelites, you still have a lot of wicked individuals, even in Israel. And one of the things that you have to remember, regardless of what you're going through, is that you serve a power greater than you. Infinitely greater than you, and you have to remember to have that fear of who you serve, because even though the Father is many things, He's merciful, He's loving to us, but at the same time He's fearful. He's supposed to fear Him because of His power. And I just want to read through the scriptures just to back up what I'm saying. 2 Corinthians 5:11, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto the Most High. And I trust also are made manifest in your consciousness. Yeah, like you said, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord. Yeah, the Lord, it's another scripture. I didn't have this one up, but it also says, is there evil in the city and the Most High had not done it? Yeah, because looking up, it's getting hot out. It's 90 degrees, 100 degrees all across the nation. A couple of months ago, it was a complete, it was freezing. It was 0 degrees, 3 degrees, 5 degrees, all these single digit numbers. Now, a couple of months later, it's 90 plus. It's 100 degrees. Today it was 95 and up. And, in the heat, that's when our people really start to act a fool. They start to show their ass. And you look through the certain newspapers and you're starting to see a lot of killings, a lot of murders, a lot of deaths, a lot of suicides, homicides, a lot of people getting caught up and trapped up in situations, trying to pursue something that eventually is going to destroy them. When the Lord has issued certain commandments for Israel that are supposed to be taken very seriously. And just going back to just looking at a particular place I'm in, St. Louis, Missouri, you got a lot of wicked ass niggas on a daily basis. If you turn the news on, getting caught, getting shot, getting taken out, getting completely destroyed. And that's why we go out, we push the terror of the Lord. We consider ourselves the hopeful elect, the men of the Lord. And basically, man, that's why a lot of these people who walk by, when they walk by the camp, they'll walk by with their heads down, because they don't, they know deep down inside that there's something to this, but they chose to serve evil. Whether willingly, unwillingly, and ultimately, we can't stress enough, the Lord is going to start to kill, because as the scriptures say, 2/3 of the nation of Israel will be cut off and die. And that's a big thing. 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Matter of fact, let me skip over to this. Matthew 24:38. Verily I say unto you that this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled, all these different prophecies You can read through them. I just want this particular section because it's not something to play with. These are the end of days. When we say these are end of days, this is not just a book we're reading where we're, doing a play or a skit or anything like that. This is reality. These are really the end of days for this kingdom. This shit could go down any day. You just had Iran. Let me pull it up. You just had Iran threaten. It said if the U.S. fucks with them and their oil trade with these other countries, they're gonna block off the Gulf Coast, that's near the Valley of Jehoshaphat, right? That's what we want them to do. We want them to go. They're gonna block the Gulf Coast, which will block 1/3 of the nation's oil. Excuse me. Where is it at? Yep. No, that's not it. Okay, I found it. Yeah, basically, they're gonna stop all this oil from going through the Strait of Hormuz, which, it's this particular strait right here in Saudi Arabia, sending a lot of oil out. They're gonna block this port or this strait, not port. Why did I say port? They're gonna block all of this up. So it's none of this oil is coming out. So now, oil gas is already fucking high right now, but the price for oil is gonna go up for all these nations. And all these different places. And that is something that could potentially cause world war. So this is serious. It's not for play. This is, like I said, this is not something that you got a couple people just, we're not YouTube truthers who are looking for links and different things, but we can't put everything together. The mysteries of the kingdom of heaven have been given to us, and we can see it. We can see to the end. We can see all of it. We can see it manifest. But verse 35, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of destruction. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of the heaven, but my Father only. So the Lord knows not the day of the hour. The angels know not the day of the hour. Only the Father. And that's critical, because that's the Father once again showing His power. Only He knows when and where it's gonna happen. He knows the right tactical time to do everything once the elect is gonna be sealed and all of that. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage unto the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a surprise. Just like I said, for as in the days before the flood, everybody was eating, drinking, marrying, giving in the marriage. They were when you're giving in the marriage, it's a party, it's a celebration. They're playing all the music, celebration time, come on, and all the different little love music to get everybody in the spirit of partying and having fun and enjoying yourself, letting loose. Relaxing in the sun. But then all of a sudden, this day is going to come out of nowhere until the day that Noah entered the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Yeah, because you got the men of the Lord out on the highways and byways across the nation, and you got millions of our people who every time we're out there, they just walk by. They'll walk by, they talk shit, they'll come up. Maybe they'll know a little bit about the scriptures, and we'll give them a little bit more, but then they don't want to accept it. Or they'll try to come with folly, and they'll get rebuked. Or, they'll try to come up and attack our gospel. We'll defend the gospel, and we'll bring down their particular doctrine, and they still don't want to accept it. So it's completely wicked every way around. And even so-called Esau knows that, because he'll come out and he'll just accept it. We'll read out the scriptures, he'll accept it. But here it is, our people, they've surpassed the wicked. They'll sit there and fucking argue it because it doesn't match what their feelings are. No, the scriptures matter. Your feelings don't fucking matter. And like I said, this is not some little skit or some little click type thing. This is a commandment that the Lord gave to the men of Israel. Okay, and then and another part of the days of Noah, Genesis 6:13, and the Most High said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. And that's what happened. The end of all flesh has come before me, and that's crazy. The end of all flesh. Now the Lord promised, and he put the bow in the sky to say he wouldn't do that before, but it's still gonna be off the chain. It's still gonna be like that. But this is the coming of the Son of Man, and it's gonna tell you, well, we're gonna get to that. He's not gonna come as a man. He's gonna come as a power. Yeah, Galatians 6:7. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And that goes for us, men of the truth, and that goes for us, for the people in the world. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap everlasting life. And that's what the goal is: everlasting life. Never dying, going off to the chariots, going up, receiving a new body, going into the kingdom. We keep saying it, but it's written in the scriptures. The Most High put his inspiration on the prophets to write these different things. It has to happen. And if you don't believe it's gonna happen, you call it the Most High a liar. You don't believe the Bible. You don't believe the words of God. You know, you might read the inspiration. You got a lot of people who read the Bible for inspiration and inspirational quotes and all this. But what about the prophecy? What about the things that the Most High promised that he was going to do? It's already been proven that the earth is flooded. Verse 9. But let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. If we faint not, so continue to fight. In due season we shall reap. Due season, it's going to be a party. It's going to be time to celebrate. Right now, it's not time to do that. We're not supposed to be like those people in the day of Noah. Noah was prophesying, the people weren't listening. They were parted. Verse 10. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. That's right. Do good unto us in the household of faith. Do good unto the brotherhood, the people who have faith. 1 Chronicles 21. But just to give another example of what the Lord will do. Verse 9, because our people, they don't fear anything. It's been so long since the Lord, it's kind of figuratively physically put his foot down, put his foot on Israel's neck. We're not in slavery. We have a few luxuries that we were given. You could drive around freely, and then from there, our people take it a step further. You can do all this extra stuff. You can commit evil and kind of feel like you got away with it. See, nothing's going to happen to me. It doesn't matter. Do what thou will. And this is 1 Chronicles 21:9. And the Lord spake unto Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and tell David, saying, Thus saith the Most High, I offer thee 3 things. Choose thee one of them, that I may do it unto thee. So he said, look, choose your punishment. You're gonna pick. I'm gonna let you pick. It's like when your parents, they make you go get that switch off the tree, but you better not get that old dead switch. Otherwise, you're going to get beat even worse. Verse 11, so Gad came to David and said unto him, thus saith the Lord, choose thee, which Lord is capital, is talking about the Most High, either 3 years famine, 3 months to be destroyed before thy foes, while that the sword of thine enemies overtake thee, or else 3 days the sword of the Lord, the sword of the Most High, I should say, even the pestilence in the land, and the angel of the Most High destroying throughout the coasts of Israel. Now therefore advise thyself what word I shall begin again to him that sent me. And David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait. Let me fall now in the hand of the Most High, for very great are his mercies, but let me not fall into the hand of man. So he figured, the Most High would be merciful if he took that third option, which that was the worst one to take. So the Most High sent pestilence unto Israel, and there fell of Israel 70,000 men. Instantly, 70,000 men killed up. And the Most High sent an angel into Jerusalem to destroy it. And as he was destroying, the Most High beheld, and he repented him of the evil, and said to the angel that destroyed, it is enough, stay now thy hand. And the angel of the Most High stood by the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. And David lifted up his eyes and saw the angel of the Most High stand between earth and heaven. He was in midair, having a drawn sword in his hand stretched out over Jerusalem. Then David and the elders of Israel, who were clothed in sackcloth, because they were mourning, fell upon their faces. And this is David. This is the warrior, the king, fell upon his face. And David said unto the Most High, is it not I that commanded the people to be numbered? Even I it is that have sinned and have done evil indeed. But as for these sheep, what have they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, O Most High, my God, be on me and on my father's house, but not on thy people, that they should be plagued. Yeah, because David felt bad because Israel was getting slaughtered. Then the angel of the Most High commanded Gad to say to David that David should go up and set up an altar unto the Most High in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. David went up at the saying of Gad, which he spoke in the name of the Most High. And basically, it's going to tell you that the Most High commanded the angel, and he put up his sword into the sheath. David was able to make offerings and peace offerings to the Most High. And the Most High had mercy on Israel. But before that, Israel was getting fucked up. Like I said, David and the elders, they fell upon their faces. Because it's not a game. And a lot of people, they think this is just a book of fairy tales, or this is just a fictional work. They want to play around. Look, it was created at the Council of Nicaea. You really have to believe that this stuff happened. I mean, I really believe this. I really have the faith that this happened. I mean, if you don't believe this happened, you might as well close the book and go about doing something else. And this isn't like you were a kid and you read certain mythological stories of certain men, Hercules, Odysseus, all this fake shit. This is real stuff that really happened, and you really have to put your mind in that situation to see what happened. Like it says, 70,000 men died from pestilence, and then you had that angel who was ripping up shit. He wasn't playing. And then of course in Ezekiel, and the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead. In the midst of the furnace, they are even the dross of silver. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, because you are all become dross, behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it. So will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. And that fire, when it comes on that metal, that fire is thousands of degrees of heat. For all these idiots talking about all the Africans, they were not able to melt down. We didn't have the technology to melt down metal. And get the fuck out of here. We've been had that. We've been had furnaces. We've always had that stuff, and we carried that wherever we went to. So you people, you don't know what you're talking about, because it says it right here. This is talking about the Israelites. Yeah, I will gather you and blow upon you, and this is the Most High. This is his anger, his fury. This is a complete another level. This is the Creator. Yeah, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof. And ye shall know that I, the Lord, have poured out my fury upon you. You'll know. You're going to know, because the fury is going to be that great. So once again, man, it's talking about anger, fury. This is the same thing about the days of Noah. It's don't have to necessarily read that, but it's also a good point too. Remember Lot's wife. Remember what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. Remember all these places that the Most High destroyed, and He put His fury and His anger to. And right now, once again, you have to be a watchman, because this is the time when the thief comes and strikes. He doesn't come, when you're at your best watch. If you ever watch the news and stuff, these different criminals and guys who come out and they break into these houses and these private estates, they always come, when the person's out at an awards show or out at a banquet or a party, or they'll these thieves that watch these different rich people on Instagram. And then these people they'll broadcast, or Twitter, and these people they'll broadcast their plans or their location, and then that's when they strike. When they're not paying attention, you're full of wine, all of this, and that's what's going on now. Everybody's full of wine. The right now the summer is up. The women are acting up. They're coming out the house half naked. It's a good feeling. It's nice and warm out. You got your sandals on, your open toes, all that shit. This is the perfect time to hit you. Boom. But hey man, I just wanted to bring that out, man, because you really have to have that fear. The Lord is merciful, but He's balanced. The Lord will bring you to a low point if you don't have that fear and that humility. And He's going to have to do that with a lot of Israelites, a lot of our people in this world. And we keep saying it. We keep going through the scriptures, but it hasn't necessarily been done yet. But when He does it, like the scriptures say, you're going to know. Ye shall know that I, the Lord, the Most High, have poured out my fury upon you. You're gonna know without a shadow of a doubt. What this is something else. What is this? It's not gonna be some shit that you can get out of. With that being said, man, if you're an Israelite, you need to repent, come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Men, you're supposed to be out in the highways and byways and becoming teachers, sealing the elect. Call Lawyer Abashim Abshai Shalom.